passengers of this flight from Petropavlovsk to Moscow were lucky. Their plane, although not without problems, managed to pass through a zone of high turbulence. In general, this is a normal situation for a pilot, but now Russian passenger airliners cannot cope even with the regular flights. On December 2nd, 2023, the left engine of an Aeroflot plane failed in the sky above Moscow, and this is not a single case. At the end of November 2023, the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine received official documents from Rosaviation, which spoke of serious problems in the industry.
In September 2022, the International Civil Aviation Organization marked Russia as red, along with Liberia and Bhutan, which indicates an extremely high risk to flight safety. An analysis of the character of aviation incidents from the documents obtained indicates that a number of failures, especially those related to engines, landing gear and wing mechanisms, are of a systemic type. The trend indicates that the civil aviation sector in Russia is a zone of serious turbulence with a high risk of a steep dive. From the message on the website of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine.
Since the beginning of 2023, 150 cases of technical malfunctions of aircraft have been documented in Russia. It's 3 times more than in 2022. The main reason is lack of maintenance. Due to Western sanctions, most of the necessary details are not available to Moscow. Therefore, more than a third of Russian aircraft are now used for aviation cannibalism. They are dismantled into pieces in order to patch up other aircraft.
This is when, relatively speaking, a company has 10 aircraft of the same type. It places one of these planes near the fence and begins to slowly dismantle it. What does this mean? It means that the plane is becoming less and less safe. And even if an aircraft that is 10 years old is used in the Russian Federation, then due to the fact that it contains fairly large number of used spare parts with a long service life, flight time and hours, the safety level of such an aircraft can be equal to the one that is 20-25 years old. And the refusal rate therefore increases 3 times compared, for example, with the normal operation of this board.
The only way to return Russian civil aviation to normal is to end the Russian Federation's war against Ukraine. All other attempts to circumvent Western restrictions have failed. Even Russia's business partners such as China refused to supply components for aircraft. Moscow even had to stop production of the Sukhoi Superjet 100 aircraft, which Kremlin propagandists talked about so much and for a long time. It turned out that the Russian airliner consists of more than 70% imported elements.
Sanctions are, first of all, the impossibility of aircraft maintenance and everything related to routine maintenance, and these are safety issues. The second point is in fact the impossibility of using those aircraft that remain directly abroad, so to speak, Russian aircraft. And there is a third point. These are questions related to how, in fact, to further develop civil transportation, because the Russian Federation has a large territory, and air transportation plays a fairly important role in the socio-economic development of that country.
A spontaneous monument to the modern aviation industry of the Federation near Novosibirsk. In September 2023, due to another technical malfunction, Ural Airlines Airbus made an emergency landing there. 3 months later, the plane is still standing on the same field. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Danilo Kobza, UATV News.